the deeper meaning behind the desire to lie down all day. What your soul is truly communicating upon opening your eyes this morning, if you sensed a peculiar heaviness, a profound weight that felt distinct from mere exhaustion or simple laziness, something more profound and difficult to articulate, then it is crucial to pay close attention. Deep psychological insights suggest that you are not necessarily failing in your endeavors. You are not inherently weak, nor are you losing your fundamental will or drive. Instead, you might be encountering the ancient fundamental language of the human spirit. There are indeed mornings when the physical body seems to resist rising, when the mind appears enveloped in a thick fog, and when even the most familiar and routine tasks feel strangely remote and devoid of purpose. In such instances, it is a common human tendency to attribute blame to oneself. People often label this sensation as a lack of motivation, a lapse in discipline, or simply laziness. However, profound studies into the human psyche indicate that something far more significant and transformative is unfolding beneath the conscious surface. It is understood that when the deepest part of the self, the soul, seems to withdraw its vital energy, this energy does not vanish into thin air. Rather, it begins to communicate. It speaks subtly through stillness, sending forth a message that the busy conscious mind has perhaps overlooked or suppressed for an extended period. The weight you perceive is not a sign of your spirit collapsing. It is, in fact, the commencement of its profound reordering and recalibration. Modern society frequently champions constant motion, celebrates endless productivity, and demands unwavering emotional performance. It is a world that paradoxically praises incessant activity even when an individual is clearly overextending their limits, and often condemns silence or introspection as if it were a fundamental flaw. Yet, the human psyche does not inherently conform to cultural dictates. It aligns with truth. When your personal life or professional pursuits consistently operate in opposition to your inner truth, the soul possesses an inherent mechanism to slow you down, compelling you to pause until you are finally able to perceive and heed its intrinsic wisdom. What you might initially interpret as a mere reluctance to get up could very well be the nascent indication of a deep inner transformation. It serves as an initial signal that something profound within you is undergoing a process of shedding, dissolving old structures, and diligently preparing for a significant renewal. This period can be likened to the quiet, introspective winter preceding a vibrant spring, the transformative chrysalis phase before wings emerge, or the essential pause that precedes a powerful return. Embracing this stillness offers a unique opportunity for introspection. You will gain insight into why your deepest self occasionally compels you to withdraw from the external world, why your vital energy seems to dissipate without any apparent warning, and why the simple act of lying still can represent the most profound and honest expression your psyche ever performs. The underlying truth is both straightforward and profoundly radical. Your inherent desire to lie down is not indicative of your story ending. On the contrary, it marks the pivotal beginning of your authentic becoming, paving the way for a more aligned and sustainable path forward in terms of personal growth, consistent effort, and skill mastery. There are indeed moments in life when the body communicates its needs long before the conscious mind can fully grasp or rationalize them. You might awaken in the soft, muted light of morning and feel an inexplicable heaviness pressing into your chest. Not a physical pain or a specific fear, but a deep internal pull. Something profound within you whispers, "Stay, do not rush to rise yet." While the external world might readily label this sensation as mere laziness, deep psychological perspectives suggest it is, in fact, a vital message. To those who study the intricate connection between mind and body, the physical form is never truly separate from the soul. It is understood that the unconscious mind often communicates through the ancient language of physical sensations, subtle impulses, pervasive fatigue, and primal instinct. When you experience that peculiar resistance to movement, when every fiber of your being seems to refuse to engage with the demands and noise of the day, this is not necessarily a collapse of your willpower or a sign of personal failing. Instead, it represents a quiet yet powerful rebellion of your inner world against a pattern of living that no longer aligns with your deepest truth. Forcing yourself to push through these signals can lead to a cycle of burnout, making sustainable time management an elusive goal and undermining any attempts at consistent effort or effective skill acquisition. Many who have explored the human condition have observed that individuals experiencing this profound heaviness are often neither weak nor truly unmotivated. Rather, they are living in a manner that is out of harmony with their deeper, authentic nature. Their external life may demand continuous performance, constant efforts to please others, and relentless striving towards goals that are not truly their own. Meanwhile, their inner life cries out for honesty and authenticity. When these two fundamental worlds drift too far apart, the psyche, in its wisdom, intelligently withdraws its energy from the disingenuous or unaligned aspects of life. The physical body, being loyal to inner truth, slows down long before the conscious mind is willing to admit the true underlying reasons. Ignoring this can lead to inefficiencies in time management, as energy is spent on maintaining a false facade rather than on truly productive work, thus making consistent progress almost impossible. Furthermore, skill acquisition becomes superficial if the underlying motivation is not genuinely aligned with one's authentic self. It has been described that the soul is akin to an ancient animal, profoundly wise in ways that the conscious ego often cannot comprehend. It perceives the subtle shifts of seasons long before they become visually apparent. It senses impending emotional storms long before they fully break. It possesses an innate knowing of when you are fundamentally dishonest with yourself. It recognizes when a significant chapter of your life has reached its natural conclusion, even if your conscious mind stubbornly insists on prolonging it. And when the disparity between your inner truth and your daily routine becomes too vast, the soul, acting as a profound guardian, pulls the brakes. It steadfastly refuses to energize a life that is no longer authentic or true. This powerful resistance frequently manifests as an overwhelming desire to lie down, to retreat from external demands, and simply to be still. From a time management perspective, this pause, while seemingly unproductive, is an essential reevaluation period, preventing future wasted effort on misaligned goals. It is the foundation for truly consistent and meaningful action. This profound stillness, far from being a sign of decay or weakness, is recognized as the crucial first stage of what can be called psychic incubation, a sacred and necessary pause where the unconscious mind begins its essential process of reorganization. On the surface, you may feel an absence of movement or progress, yet internally, entire landscapes of your psyche are undergoing profound shifts. Old identities may begin to crumble, long-held dreams may subtly dissolve, and new directions, still faint and unformed, begin to stir. Imagine your inner world as a vast, ancient forest. In the vibrancy of autumn, it appears teeming with life. In the depths of winter, it may seem dormant or even lifeless. Yet, beneath the frozen soil, life continues its silent, vital work. Roots strengthen, seeds harden in preparation, and energy gathers for the eventual return of spring. Psychological wisdom suggests that the human soul follows this very same natural rhythm. When you feel that compelling urge to lie down for an entire day, when you find yourself unable to engage with the external world, you may well be entering the winter of your inner forest, a pivotal time when rest is not merely optional but profoundly sacred. This period of deep rest is crucial for processing and consolidating previous experiences, which is vital for the subconscious aspects of skill acquisition and for fostering genuine consistency in future endeavors. The challenge, however, is that modern life often exhibits no patience for such a vital winter. It perpetually expects a never-ending summer of relentless productivity, glorifying constant motion and frequently criticizing any pause as if it were a moral failing. Yet, the human psyche simply cannot bloom endlessly without reprieve. It absolutely must retreat. It must digest experiences. It must reorder itself in periods of quiet introspection and even darkness. And this inner winter is very often triggered when something significant in your life has reached its natural conclusion, even if no external changes are yet apparent. From a time management standpoint, these forced pauses, while initially disruptive, are critical for preventing long-term burnout and ensuring that future efforts are well-directed and sustainable. Without them, attempts at consistency become brittle and ultimately unsustainable. Many individuals who experience this profound heaviness describe a strange, unsettling sensation of existing between worlds. They may awaken with an acute feeling that the life they are currently inhabiting is somehow too small, too constricting, much like clothing that no longer fits comfortably. They possess an intuitive sense that something fundamental must shift, though they do not yet have conscious knowledge of what that something might be. Psychological insights indicate that this is precisely the moment when the unconscious mind begins the intricate process of rewriting your inner map. The old path, the familiar trajectory, no longer leads to where your soul intrinsically intends to go. The body, with its profound intuitive wisdom, recognizes this truth first. It deliberately slows you down, preventing you from impulsively running back to the familiar, even if it is no longer serving you. It anchors you firmly in place, making it difficult to rush into mere distractions. It subtly yet powerfully compels you to face truths and realities that you have perhaps skillfully avoided for too long. In this state, stillness ceases to be an empty void and transforms into a vital doorway. Fatigue, rather than being an enemy, becomes a profound teacher, and the profound desire to lie down itself becomes an inner compass, pointing unequivocally towards deep and meaningful transformation. Embracing this internal recalibration is crucial for effective long-term time management, ensuring that future efforts are aligned with true purpose, thus leading to genuine and lasting consistency in personal and professional growth, including the acquisition of new and relevant skills. This is precisely why ancient wisdom and psychological understanding have consistently emphasized that the body must be listened to with reverence rather than feared or dismissed. Its heaviness is not an adversary. It is, in fact, an invaluable guide. It communicates to you that a deeper, more authentic truth is beginning to rise within you. It signals that the very architecture of your being is undergoing a fundamental shift. It indicates that you are entering a new, significant chapter of your life, even if your conscious mind has not yet fully perceived the signs or understood the implications. The pivotal question now is not merely why you are experiencing this heaviness. Far more important is to discern what this profound sensation is diligently attempting to reveal to you. And this vital mystery gently opens the doorway to the 5 sacred forms of soul tiredness, which have been observed through deep human experience. Each form carries its own unique message, and each points towards a distinct kind of personal transformation, offering profound guidance for better time management, fostering true consistency, and facilitating more meaningful skill acquisition. Profound insights into the human spirit teach that what we commonly refer to as tiredness very often carries the distinct shape of an unspoken message. Not all experiences of heaviness are identical. Each type whispers a unique truth, and each implicitly asks for a different, specific response. This is not to be interpreted as a sign of weakness, but rather as a highly coded language originating from our inner world. When one takes the time and effort to learn how to decipher and comprehend this subtle language, fatigue itself transcends its superficial definition and becomes a powerful source of revelation, guiding us towards more effective personal management. The first form is the tiredness of misalignment. This is a profound exhaustion that arises when your external life and daily actions no longer genuinely correspond with your deepest inner values and authentic purpose. You may find yourself moving through tasks that once felt inherently meaningful, but now feel hollow, empty, and performative. Conversations can feel scripted and inauthentic. Obligations weigh heavily, even suffocatingly. And paradoxically, even perceived successes can feel strangely distant, leaving you unfulfilled. When the soul perceives that you are primarily living a life designed for external approval rather than embodying your intrinsic truth, it subtly yet powerfully refuses to cooperate. It quietly withdraws its vital energy. Consequently, the body slows to a halt or experiences a profound heaviness. This is not a failure of character or effort. This is, at its core, a radical act of honesty. From a practical standpoint, honoring this truth allows for a profound recalibration of priorities, leading to more intentional time management and a more sustainable, consistent approach to your goals and skill development, as wasted effort on unaligned activities is minimized. The second form is the tiredness of unmourned grief. Some heaviness belongs not to the present moment, but deeply to the past. These are losses that were never fully acknowledged, endings that were never truly honored, or perhaps versions of yourself that died quietly, without any formal ceremony or recognition. Unprocessed grief, as observed by those who delve into the human psyche, absorbs psychic energy like a vast hidden sponge. You feel perpetually tired because your soul is tirelessly holding a vigil, an unspoken remembrance for something you never fully allowed yourself to consciously bury or release. The profound heaviness in this context is a gentle but firm request to pause, to truly stop, and to genuinely feel what has been lost. Until that grief is acknowledged and processed, your soul wisely withholds vitality, implicitly asking for remembrance and genuine processing before it can fully engage in renewal. Addressing this form of tiredness is crucial for emotional resilience, which underpins effective time management and sustained consistency in any demanding field, freeing up mental and emotional resources previously consumed by unspoken sorrow, thus enhancing the capacity for skill acquisition. The third form is books, the tiredness of emotional overload. Some individuals are born with an inherent heightened sensitivity. They possess an extraordinary capacity to absorb the moods and emotional states of others, the pervasive chaos of the world, and the subtle hidden tensions present in every environment. These individuals can be thought of as profound emotional barometers, instinctively picking up shifts in the collective atmosphere long before anyone else consciously notices them. Their exhaustion is not a weakness. It is, in essence, a profound cleansing response. The soul, in its protective wisdom, compels stillness so that the overburdened emotional system can effectively reset and rebalance. In this context, lying down transforms into a purification ritual. Silence becomes a potent form of medicine. The body, with its innate intelligence, insists on this vital recalibration. Recognizing and honoring this need is a fundamental act of self-care, leading to improved mental clarity and emotional regulation, both of which are indispensable for maintaining focus, managing time effectively, and achieving consistent progress in skill acquisition. The fourth form is the tiredness of transition. This specific exhaustion appears when one identity, one established way of being, is in the process of dissolving, and a new identity has not yet fully emerged or taken shape. You find yourself in a liminal space, no longer entirely who you once were, but not yet fully who you are destined to become. This is often described as the sacred in-between period. During such a time, the psyche expends an enormous amount of energy, often unacknowledged consciously, to systematically dismantle old structures, outdated beliefs, and limiting patterns, while simultaneously preparing the groundwork for new ones. The conscious mind primarily perceives only the profound fatigue, completely unaware of the intricate construction and rebuilding happening beneath the surface. You are much like a creature in the dark, transformative chamber of metamorphosis, dissolving your old form so that you can reform into something entirely new and stronger. The tiredness in this powerful analogy is the cocoon itself. Embracing this period allows for a fundamental re-evaluation of goals and time management strategies, leading to a renewed sense of purpose and consistent, aligned action once the transition is complete, and critically, a more integrated approach to new skill acquisition. The fifth form is the tiredness of blocked creativity. Within every human being resides a powerful innate energy that yearns to imagine, to build, to express, and to shape something original and unique. When this vital creative force is systematically suppressed by rigid routines, overwhelming fear, or a life that relentlessly demands practicality over authentic expression, that energy does not simply disappear. Instead, it turns inward, it stagnates, it becomes a profound, internal heaviness. Unused creativity, as psychological wisdom teaches, transforms into significant psychological weight. The soul, in this state, whispers, "Stop wasting my fire." This particular tiredness is not an emptiness. It is a powerful energy actively searching for a doorway, a channel for authentic expression. Acknowledging and addressing this blockage is vital for mental vitality and essential for effective problem-solving and innovative approaches in skill acquisition and professional life. Releasing this suppressed energy can unlock new levels of motivation and consistency in pursuing creative endeavors. All five of these profound forms of tiredness share one fundamental truth. The body invariably becomes the messenger when the psyche has exhausted all other avenues of communication. The heaviness you feel is not a flaw or a weakness. It is an undeniable signal that something vital inside you demands your immediate attention. Something is ending, something significant is beginning, and something crucial yearns to be heard and understood. Traditional wisdom and psychological insights underscore that the demands of modern life often leave little to no room for this sacred tiredness. It relentlessly teaches you to push through discomfort, to silence your intuition, and to willfully ignore the potent messages rising from within. However, the psyche, in its profound truth, does not respond to external pressure or forced will. It obeys only its intrinsic truth. And when that truth is consistently ignored or suppressed, it manifests and communicates its needs through pervasive fatigue. If you can accurately recognize which specific form of tiredness is calling to you, you take the crucial first step toward genuine healing and profound self-management. You begin to understand that your body is not betraying you. It is in fact guiding you back to alignment, back to grief that urgently needs closure, back to a vital equilibrium, back to a transformative rebirth, and ultimately back to your own authentic creative fire. Each distinct form of tiredness serves as a powerful doorway, and once you courageously walk through it, you begin to grasp why the soul possesses the profound wisdom to stop you long before your conscious mind can catch up or fully comprehend. This understanding profoundly reshapes your approach to time management, fosters a deeper, more sustainable consistency, and enriches your capacity for meaningful skill acquisition. Profound wisdom suggests that the body often possesses a deeper, more intuitive intelligence than the conscious mind. Long before we consciously register that something is fundamentally amiss, the body has already sensed it. Long before we are willing to admit that a particular path has reached its natural conclusion, the body, in its quiet refusal, simply declines to walk it further. And long before we fully comprehend that a significant inner shift is gracefully unfolding, the body, with its innate wisdom, subtly slows us down, anchoring us firmly in place until we are finally ready and able to listen. This is why the compelling desire to lie down can often feel profoundly confusing to the logical mind. The conscious mind might insist that everything is perfectly fine. Your responsibilities may appear unchanged. Your external life might even seem remarkably steady and stable. Yet somewhere deep within you, the foundational layers of your psyche have intuitively sensed a profound misalignment. Something no longer fits, something is profoundly out of tune, and the body, fiercely loyal to your intrinsic truth, steadfastly refuses to move in a direction that ultimately betrays your deepest self. This biological alignment is a critical, often overlooked aspect of effective time management and achieving true consistency. When the body and soul are misaligned, efforts become fragmented and unsustainable, hindering any deep skill acquisition. The human psyche can be likened to a vast, intricate ecosystem, a living and dynamic field where every part intrinsically responds to every other part. When one area within this system becomes imbalanced, the entire system instinctively adjusts to restore harmony. Fatigue, in this context, is not a failure of willpower or a sign of weakness. It is a profound and essential shift within the ecosystem of your being. It represents the body's intelligent attempt to correct an imbalance that the conscious ego stubbornly refuses to acknowledge. Many individuals describe this consistent experience. They awaken feeling a strange, inexplicable heaviness even after a seemingly restful night's sleep. They lose genuine interest in tasks that once felt effortless and engaging. They feel as if invisible hands are gently yet firmly holding them still. This is not a medical flaw or a psychological disorder. It is a powerful psychological message. The psyche is intelligently withdrawing energy from the external world so that it can purposefully redirect it inward. When the soul intuitively senses that you are living in contradiction, engaging in activities or relationships that deplete rather than nourish, it ceases to lend its vital support to the performance. It stops actively supporting a life built on external expectations that no longer resonate with your inner reality. What feels like a profound loss of energy is, in essence, energy being deliberately pulled home, gathered back to your core self. The soul is consolidating its strength, diligently preparing to reshape your direction and purpose from within. This internal reorganization is paramount for long-term consistency and profound skill acquisition. Forcing external productivity during this period is akin to trying to grow crops in winter. It's against the natural cycle and ultimately unproductive. There are indeed moments when the body simply refuses to follow the conscious commands of the mind. You might tell yourself, "Get up," yet your limbs remain inexplicably heavy. You might urge yourself to push through, but no internal force seems to emerge. You might repeatedly tell yourself to keep going, yet a profound inner silence pulls you irresistibly back. Deep psychological traditions explain that this is precisely the moment when the unconscious mind rises powerfully to the surface. It communicates its truth through inertia. It speaks eloquently through slowness. It conveys its message through the deep primal instinct to simply stop. Modern culture, unfortunately, has often conditioned us to distrust this powerful inner instinct. It consistently praises relentless, constant motion and dismisses stillness as a fundamental weakness. It worships speed and efficiency while conveniently forgetting that all of nature operates in intricate cycles. The forest naturally rests. The tide gracefully withdraws. The seasons inherently shift. Even the human heart beats in rhythmic waves of contraction and release. Nothing in the natural world sustains constant, unbroken motion. Only humans, paradoxically, punish themselves for the natural and essential need to pause. This constant push against natural rhythms hinders long-term consistency, making true mastery of skills elusive as the mental and emotional resources required for deep learning are constantly depleted. Effective time management must integrate these natural cycles of rest and activity. Profound insights reveal that the human psyche simply cannot be forced into endless activity without consequence. When pushed beyond its natural limits, it employs its inherent protective mechanisms. It strategically slows the body. It numbs conscious motivation. It demands profound silence. This allows the inner world the crucial space and time to reorganize itself. This process is not a regression. It is, in fact, a vital restoration. It represents the ancient, innate intelligence of the soul, skillfully steering you back toward your fundamental truth. Sometimes the body ceases its external movement because a significant emotional truth has ripened within you. A realization that you have skillfully avoided is now ready to consciously surface. A critical choice that you have perhaps delayed is now urgently ready to be made. A life or a specific way of living that you have fundamentally outgrown is now poised to gracefully fall away. The body, with its profound intuitive wisdom, feels this shift long before your conscious mind does. It pulls you deeply inward so that you cannot distract yourself with external noise or frantic motion. At other times, the body senses an impending danger or a depleting situation where the conscious mind merely perceives routine. It instinctively recognizes the profound cost of remaining in environments or relationships that drain your spirit. It knows when you are carrying too much, absorbing too much negativity, or pretending too much for the sake of others. The body, in its raw honesty, speaks its truth even when the ego is unwilling to. And when this honesty becomes truly urgent, it will not allow you to rise and move forward until you courageously face what you have perhaps ignored for too long. This is why lying down in these moments often feels strangely safe and protective. It is not an escape from reality. It is a profound surrender to an inner truth. It is the psyche gently drawing you back into yourself so that it can systematically restructure the very foundations of your life. The body, in this profound sense, becomes the guardian of the soul. It stops you precisely so you can return to a state of vital alignment. This conscious recalibration is an essential aspect of sustainable time management and cultivating true, unwavering consistency in your personal and professional life, fostering an environment conducive to deep skill acquisition. The path toward genuine healing, as articulated through centuries of wisdom, begins with trusting this innate inner guidance. When the body signals a need to slow down, it is imperative to listen with an open mind. When the conscious mind resists stillness, it is a call to pause with intention. When your energy seems to dissipate without any apparent external reason, turn your gaze inward. Something profound within you is attempting to awaken. Something significant is striving to shift. Something essential is trying to be born into your conscious awareness. Stillness, far from being the end of all movement or progress, is in fact the profound beginning of understanding. It is an active state of reception, crucial for internal processing that supports consistent effort and deepens the learning process inherent in skill acquisition. Profound insights affirm that stillness is not merely the absence of life or activity. It is, in essence, the vibrant workshop of the unconscious mind. When the external world perceives you as lying motionless, deeper psychological understanding views you as entering a sacred chamber where the soul quietly and meticulously reshapes itself. What may appear as inaction or nothingness on the surface is often the most profound and essential activity unfolding within you. This transformative period is often referred to as psychic incubation, a crucial time when the unconscious works diligently beneath the threshold of conscious awareness, digesting experiences, gathering scattered fragments of forgotten truths, and weaving them into a new, more cohesive pattern. During this intense inner work, the conscious mind may indeed feel blank, empty, or detached. However, the deeper self remains vibrantly alive, actively rearranging the inner architecture of who you are profoundly becoming. Consider a forest in the depths of winter. The trees appear perfectly still. The branches seem utterly lifeless. The soil looks frozen and barren. Yet beneath that profound silence and frozen exterior, roots are diligently drinking in the dark, drawing sustenance. Seeds are quietly preparing to break, open and germinate. Life is not absent. It is intelligently reorganizing itself for future growth. Psychological wisdom suggests that the human psyche moves through precisely the same seasonal rhythm. When you feel that irresistible pull towards profound stillness, your soul is entering its essential winter of renewal. Modern society, however, often fears this necessary winter. It frequently interprets stillness as a failure to perform. It treats rest as a potential threat to productivity. It relentlessly demands constant growth and output, even when the very soil of your spirit has been utterly exhausted. But the psyche does not grow on command or according to external schedules. It grows organically through natural cyclical patterns, periods of movement followed by essential pauses, phases of expansion followed by necessary contraction, moments of illumination followed by periods of restorative darkness. Silence is the crucial, fertile interval that makes deep transformation profoundly possible. From a time management perspective, these periods of stillness are not downtime, but investment time, crucial for fostering sustainable consistency and facilitating deeper, more integrated skill acquisition. When you lie still, your soul embarks on a vital process. It gathers the scattered pieces of yourself that have been dispersed by relentless stress, by unyielding external expectations, and by years of accumulated emotional strain. It gently brings these fragments home, back to your core. It begins the intricate work of mending what has been torn and strengthening what has grown thin or fragile. It diligently prepares you for a new, more authentic version of life, one that will require a deeper level of genuineness than ever before. In this profound stillness, the unconscious mind systematically sorts through the narratives and stories you have been telling yourself. It intelligently discards the ones that no longer serve your growth or truth. It highlights the ones that hold deep, enduring truth, and it meticulously creates new pathways for future insight and understanding. You may experience feelings of numbness or mental fog during this period because the conscious mind has temporarily stepped aside, creating vital space for these deeper, more profound processes to unfold unhindered. This is why profound insights emphasize that stillness is not wasted time. It is, in fact, sacred work. The psyche is accomplishing what the conscious ego often cannot. It is metabolizing your life experiences, transforming what was once painful into profound wisdom, turning confusion into crystal clear clarity, and dissolving illusions that have perhaps kept you trapped or limited. What feels like merely lying down is, in essence, a profound return to the foundational ground where your soul can once again grow deep, resilient roots. This foundational work directly impacts your ability to manage time effectively, sustain consistent effort, and acquire complex skills with greater depth and understanding in the long term. There are many who instinctively fear this profound silence because it invariably confronts them with truths they have assiduously avoided. When the external world grows quiet, you become undeniably aware of the hidden parts of yourself beginning to speak. You feel the profound weight of what has been ignored or suppressed. You sense the dreams you may have long abandoned. You notice the relationships that have consistently drained your spirit. Stillness, in its raw power, strips away all distractions and reveals with undeniable clarity what the soul has intrinsically known for a very long time. Psychological wisdom teaches that this confrontation is not intended to break you. It is profoundly intended to prepare you. Before any great transformation can occur, the psyche often enters a period of deep darkness. Before true insight can emerge, the mind must first become silent and receptive. Before any genuine rebirth, the soul intelligently withdraws into itself. This profound pattern is intricately woven into the very fabric of nature, embedded in ancient myths, and present in every deep psychological process of change. Heroes often disappear into mysterious caves. Prophets retreat into barren deserts. Even great thinkers have been known to withdraw into solitude during profound periods of personal transformation. The body, in its intuitive wisdom, mirrors these ancient, sacred rituals. When it compels you to lie still, it is guiding you into your own inner cave of introspection. It is inviting you into the profound darkness where the old self gracefully dissolves and the new one begins to form. You are not lazy in these moments. You are profoundly becoming. You are not falling behind in the race of life. You are falling inward to your core. And in that profound inward journey, something extraordinary happens. A sacred space opens where truth can rise without competition or interference. A vital silence appears where clarity can gently land and take root. A profound softness begins to grow where harshness and rigidity once resided. This is the sacred cradle of renewal. It is the hallowed place where the future, more authentic self begins to truly breathe and take shape. When stillness calls you, the primary task is not to resist it with effort. The task is to enter it with deep reverence and conscious surrender. because within that profound quietude lies the essential blueprint of who you are truly meant to become, and the foundation for a life of greater alignment, consistent purpose, and genuine skill mastery. In those moments when the world outside grows silent and your body intuitively refuses to rise, deep psychological traditions suggest that a profound conversation begins. It is a dialogue without spoken words, without linear sentences, and often without conventional logic. It is the soul speaking eloquently through symbols, through subtle sensations, and through fragments of emotion that surface from the depths. This is often referred to as the inner dialogue, the sacred meeting place between the conscious self and the vast, often unexplored landscape of the unconscious. Most people, unfortunately, never truly enter this profound space because they harbor a deep fear of what silence might reveal about themselves. They rush into frantic distraction. They attempt to drown themselves in incessant noise and activity. They often take pride in constant movement, precisely because movement serves as a protective shield, guarding them from confronting uncomfortable truths. However, when the body grows profoundly heavy and the conscious will softens, you are presented with a unique opening, an urgent invitation to truly listen. The psyche does not communicate in the clean, rational language of thought. Instead, it speaks in vivid images that rise without conscious explanation, in memories that surface from seemingly nowhere, in impulses that feel ancient and primal, and in dreams that linger with powerful resonance even after waking. These fragments are the alphabet of the soul. To truly understand them, you do not analyze them rigidly. Instead, you allow them to be, you receive them openly, and you follow their subtle guidance. It is taught that whenever this profound heaviness descends, you can initiate a sacred practice. Sit in the quietude, take up a pen, allow your hand to move freely without conscious thought or judgment. Write down the images that appear in your mind's eye. Document the feelings that gently drift in. Note the strange scenes your mind displays, like distant lanterns flashing in the dark. Do not judge what emerges. Do not attempt to shape or control it. Simply let the unconscious reveal its intricate map naturally. This is the essence of active imagination. It is not mere fantasy. It is a profound, active dialogue, a meeting between what you outwardly pretend to be and what you fundamentally are. In this sacred space, the soul offers invaluable clues. An image of a locked door may appear. A powerful river may flow through your mind's landscape. A solitary child may stand at the edge of a vast open field. These scenes are not random. They are potent messages encoded in the profound language of the deeper mind. In moments of heavy stillness, you can ask yourself 3 essential sacred questions that act as keys to self-understanding. The first, what am I truly protecting myself from? The second, what aspects of my life no longer authentically serve my growth and evolution? The third, which version of myself is now asking to be born into reality? These questions are powerful catalysts. You do not force answers upon yourself. Instead, you allow the unconscious mind to respond in its own profound voice and timing. Sometimes the answer manifests as a sudden warmth in your chest, sometimes as a gentle whisper of sadness, sometimes as a forgotten memory, now glowing with new profound meaning. Sometimes the body may even tremble lightly, as if releasing a truth you have held for far too long. The soul does not speak loudly, it speaks with profound honesty. In this deep inner space, the tiredness you profoundly feel transcends mere physical fatigue. It transforms into powerful guidance. It tells you that a significant chapter of your life is drawing to a close. It informs you that an old identity, a previous way of being, is gracefully dissolving. It communicates that you have fundamentally outgrown the life you meticulously built when you were smaller, when you desired less, and when you feared more. The heaviness in this light is the soul drawing clear lines in the sand, unequivocally saying no more to what has been draining your vital energy and spirit. This inner dialogue, as profound wisdom teaches, is the pivotal turning point of transformation. When you cease fighting the essential stillness and begin to truly listen to its messages, something fundamental shifts within you. The oppressive heaviness begins to soften. the mental fog gradually thins. You begin to feel the faint yet undeniable presence of a truer, more authentic self emerging beneath the accumulated layers of old expectations and societal pressures. You begin to remember what you genuinely wanted before the world dictated what you should want. This is precisely why engaging in this inner dialogue is essential. Without it, stillness can become a source of profound confusion and disorientation. With it, stillness transforms into a powerful revelation. The unconscious is not attempting to suppress you or hold you back. It is intelligently trying to reorganize you. It is attempting to guide you toward a life that profoundly aligns with your deepest truth, rather than being dictated by your fears. In this quiet internal dialogue, you discover that the soul does not punish, it fiercely protects. It does not weaken you, it diligently prepares you. It does not silence you, it eloquently speaks through you. And it speaks most clearly and powerfully when the body is still, when the external noise fades, and when the world temporarily ceases to pull you away from your authentic self. This is the precise moment when true transformation begins to take shape, not outside of you, but deeply within you. A soft shift, a subtle awakening, a new direction gently forming like the first light of a hidden dawn. This profound shift is critical for cultivating deep focus, making conscious time management decisions, sustaining consistent effort toward truly meaningful goals, and integrating new skills with greater authenticity and impact. Modern life, with its relentless pace, often worships motion. It profusely praises those who never stop, never slow down, and never question the profound cost of their constant movement. However, ancient wisdom reveals a truth that modern culture often refuses to acknowledge or accept. Sometimes, the most powerful and transformative act a human being can undertake is to simply do nothing, to consciously stop, to lie utterly still, and to allow the world to spin without your active participation while your soul quietly gathers its strength. This deliberate doing nothing is not apathy. It is not a sign of surrender in defeat. It is not a failure of character. Instead, it is a sacred paradox, a hidden law of the human psyche. When the outer self becomes quiet and receptive, the inner self begins its essential profound work. When the conscious will no longer relentlessly pushes, the soul in its inherent wisdom gently takes over the steering. When you cease forcing your life relentlessly forward, you finally allow the deeper, more natural rhythm of your being to rise and guide you. This essential pause is a critical element of sustainable time management, enabling long-term consistency rather than sporadic bursts of activity followed by burnout, and facilitating deeper subconscious integration of skills. Consider the chrysalis, outwardly still and unmoving to the eye. From the outside, it appears utterly lifeless. Yet profoundly inside, a creature is undergoing a miraculous process of dissolving, reshaping, and becoming something entirely new. Psychological insights teach that humans undergo similar inner metamorphoses. The ego often mislabels this period as stagnation or laziness. The soul, however, accurately recognizes it as profound transformation. The tiredness you feel during this period is not wasted time. It is, in fact, an alchemical process. It is the slow, deliberate dissolving of an old identity, a past way of being that can no longer genuinely serve you. It is the quiet, meticulous construction of a new inner structure within your psyche, one that absolutely requires stillness and inner quietude to fully take form. Just as the forest thoughtfully retreats in winter to prepare its vital energies for the vibrancy of spring, the soul intelligently retreats inward to rebuild and fortify its strength. People often fear rest because they fundamentally misunderstand its profound purpose. They fear that stopping means falling irrevocably behind in a competitive world. They fear that the world will simply move on without their participation. They fear that doing nothing will expose their perceived weaknesses. Yet deep psychological wisdom suggests precisely the opposite. It posits that stillness is a powerful sign of true inner strength, the profound ability to honor the truth of your psyche, even when the external world relentlessly demands constant performance and output. When you consciously and intentionally choose to rest, you are actively prioritizing alignment over external expectation. You are choosing profound honesty over superficial pretense. You are choosing depth and authenticity over mere speed. And in making this conscious choice, something immensely powerful begins to happen. The unconscious mind embarks on a profound reorganization of the scattered fragments of your life, diligently integrating the lessons you may have previously ignored, gently healing the wounds you have carried, and thoroughly cleansing the emotional residue of weeks, months, or even years of accumulated stress. This internal cleansing is paramount for maintaining consistent focus, making clear time management decisions, and ensuring that skill acquisition is built on a solid, emotionally healthy foundation. In ancient traditions, the greatest and most transformative personal insights and changes invariably occurred in profound silence and retreat. Spiritual leaders retreated into vast deserts. Mystics withdrew into solitary caves. Poets often disappeared into deep solitude to access their creative wellspring. Even prominent thinkers of the past were known to retreat to their secluded havens when their souls needed to reorganize and recalibrate. These profound retreats were not merely escapes from reality, they were in essence powerful initiations. Stillness served as the sacred gateway to clarity, insight, and renewed purpose. When you lie down in the middle of your day, when you feel genuinely unable to rise, your ego might experience panic or anxiety, but your soul, in contrast, breathes a sigh of relief. It perceives this pause as absolutely necessary. It utilizes the stillness as a powerful furnace for profound change. Your body, in its wisdom, is communicating to you that something vital inside needs ample space, needs profound quiet, and needs sufficient time to integrate and heal. The psyche does not undergo deep transformation amidst the noise and frantic pace of constant external activity. It transforms most profoundly in the softness of surrender and acceptance. And here lies the enduring paradox. The less you push against your natural rhythms, the more profoundly you grow. The more consciously you rest, the deeper your evolution becomes. The more you honor the essential stillness, the more powerful and aligned your next movement and action will be. This is a fundamental law of nature. This is an intrinsic law of the psyche. This is the profound law of the soul itself. Embracing this perspective fundamentally transforms time management from a rigid schedule into an intuitive flow, consistency from forced effort into natural alignment, and skill acquisition from rote memorization into deep embodied understanding. There will inevitably come a moment when the stillness you've embraced no longer feels heavy or oppressive. A subtle, tiny spark of energy will gently return. A moment when your chest feels perceptibly lighter, when your breath deepens naturally, when your inner world softly whispers, "It is time." This pivotal moment does not arrive through brute force or conscious imposition. It arrives gracefully through allowing. It rises organically, naturally, like dawn breaking over a quiet, untouched field. Rest is not the antithesis of growth. It is, in fact, the fertile soil where growth deeply takes root. It is the essential shadow that gives profound shape and definition to the light. It is the profound silence that diligently prepares the forthcoming song. When you honor the innate call to lie down, you are not choosing weakness or indolence. You are choosing profound wisdom. You are consciously stepping into the ancient, natural rhythm of the soul. This is the only rhythm that can genuinely lead you toward a life that is truly authentic, deeply fulfilling, and sustainably consistent in its purpose and efforts. There comes a profound moment after an extended period of stillness when something vital inside you begins to stir. It is quiet at first, almost imperceptibly fragile, like the faintest breeze moving through unopened leaves. You may awaken one morning and feel a subtle, gentle shift in your chest. Not a sudden burst of frantic energy, not an immediate surge of motivation, but rather a small, comforting warmth, a gentle pulse of aliveness returning from some deep, hidden place within. Psychological wisdom suggests this moment is the soul subtly announcing that the period of inner incubation has successfully completed its vital work. The unconscious mind does not operate on a human timetable. It does not rush. It does not rise on conscious command. It has no regard for external deadlines or rigid schedules. It moves according to its own intrinsic seasons and rhythms. And when a season of profound inner work has reached its natural conclusion, the psyche reveals it in precisely the same gentle, gradual way that nature reveals the arrival of spring, softly, incrementally, with a quiet yet undeniable promise of renewal. This emergence signals a profound shift in one's capacity for time management, offering a renewed and sustainable approach to consistent effort and deeper engagement in skill acquisition. After days or even weeks of pervasive heaviness, this soft awakening may feel initially strange or unfamiliar. You have grown accustomed to the weight, to the mental fog, to the comforting silence, but the soul is not intended to remain perpetually underground or hidden forever. As profound texts explain, when the psyche successfully reorganizes itself, it returns energy gently, not in an overwhelming flood, but in a slow, graceful unfolding. You may find yourself dreaming more vividly and with greater clarity. You may notice your thoughts becoming sharper, more focused, and more coherent. You may feel a gentle spark of curiosity rekindle within you, the initial delicate sign that your inner world is beginning to open again. These are not random shifts or isolated occurrences. They are the clear signals that the unconscious mind has successfully completed its profound work of reshaping the very foundations of your life. Energy that once felt trapped or stagnant now begins to flow freely. This occurs not because you forcefully willed it, but because you surrendered long enough and deeply enough for the soul to heal what your conscious mind could not reach or repair. The stillness you once may have feared transforms into the fertile ground from which new, authentic strength rises. You do not have to consciously push yourself forward. Instead, you are gently carried forward by an inner current that feels profoundly natural, effortless, and honest. This is why profound insights emphasize that true renewal does not emanate from punishment, self-flagellation, or external pressure. It originates from deep listening. It comes from conscious pausing. It arises from trusting the deeper, innate intelligence that resides within you. When you honor the essential call to rest, you create the vital space necessary for your next, more authentic self to fully form. And when that next self is truly ready, it approaches you with the gentle inevitability of dawn, without force, without urgency, and without overwhelming noise. Many individuals, unfortunately, miss this delicate awakening because they impulsively rush back into their old familiar patterns the very moment they feel even a trace of renewed energy. They hastily return to the exact life that had previously exhausted them. They pick up the very weights and responsibilities that had previously broken them down. They silence the profound truths that the period of stillness had so clearly revealed. Ancient wisdom warns that this premature return to old, unaligned rhythms is precisely what perpetuates the destructive cycle of burnout and eventual collapse. The essential task now is not to rush forward in a frantic sprint. Instead, it is to rise slowly, to move with profound awareness and intentionality, to allow your energy to expand gently and organically instead of exploding outward in unsustainable bursts. Your psyche is still tender and vulnerable from its recent transformation. It requires soft movements, intentional and conscious choices, and the establishment of honest, aligned structures in your daily life. It needs a way of living that genuinely matches the deep truths it painstakingly rebuilt in the profound silence. You may notice that certain activities or pursuits no longer genuinely interest you. Certain relationships may feel heavier or more draining than before. Certain responsibilities may now feel profoundly misaligned with your core self. This is not a regression, it is, in fact, crystal clear clarity. The soul has shed layers and attachments that you can no longer authentically pick up again or embody. Psychological understanding teaches that transformation is not merely complete when energy returns. True transformation is complete when you consciously choose to honor and embody the self that has emerged from the profound stillness. The person who rises from this inner winter is fundamentally not the same person who entered it. You move differently, with greater grace and intention. You feel differently, with heightened sensitivity and clarity. You sense your own boundaries more distinctly and assertively. You listen attentively to the quiet warnings and subtle nudges of your psyche instead of habitually ignoring them. You follow the subtle intuitive pull of what genuinely feels aligned with your truth, rather than blindly adhering to what is merely expected of you. And so, the ultimate profound truth of this particular tiredness becomes undeniably clear. You were never truly breaking down. You were, in fact, breaking open. You were not genuinely losing energy. You were instead wisely redirecting it. You were not truly falling behind in life. You were being meticulously prepared for something greater. The overwhelming urge to lie down all day was not the end of your story or your journey. It was the soul, in its profound wisdom, guiding you into the dark, sacred chamber where true transformation happens. And now that you are emerging, the world itself looks different to you, precisely because you are profoundly different. You carry within you a new rhythm, a deeper groundedness, a more honest and authentic presence. Energy returns not as the old, frantic drive, but as something fundamentally wiser, something calmer, something undeniably truer. It rises naturally, like dawn breaking through an ancient forest, quiet yet utterly undeniable. This new energy is perfect for building sustainable consistency in your endeavors, for managing your time with greater wisdom and intentionality, and for engaging in skill acquisition with a depth and authenticity previously unattainable. If you have reached this point, there is something profound within you that already intuitively knows this truth. You were never truly broken for needing rest. You were never inherently weak for slowing down your pace. You were never lazy for wanting to lie still while the external world continued its ceaseless motion. Your soul was speaking to you in the only language it had left, the potent language of heaviness, the profound language of silence, the transformative language of stillness. Deep psychological insights suggest that the moments when you feel least able to rise are often precisely the moments when the deepest part of you is rising in a completely different, more profound way. You are not collapsing. You are undergoing a vital recalibration. You are not losing your way. You are being expertly guided toward a path that your old self could not possibly walk. The tiredness was not the end point. It was the sacred threshold to a new beginning. So the next time your body passionately begs you to stop, do not curse yourself or engage in self-blame. Do not drown the vital message in guilt or shame. Instead, gently place a hand on your heart and deeply remember this profound truth. The soul speaks softly, and stillness is its very first word. Listen without fear or judgment. Rest without shame or guilt. Allow the process to unfold without resistance. There is a new, more authentic version of you taking shape and emerging, and it needs ample room to breathe, to integrate, and to grow. If any part of this message resonated deeply with you, consider reflecting on which form of inner heaviness you recognized in yourself. Sharing your insights, even in a personal journal, can be a powerful step towards self-discovery and a reminder that true growth often begins with embracing stillness, allowing your time to be managed by inner wisdom, fostering consistency through authenticity, and ensuring that skill acquisition is a truly integrated process. For those who seek to further explore the profound depths of the human psyche and its timeless truths, continuing this journey of introspection can unlock unseen wisdom and foster a deeply aligned existence. You are not meant to live in perpetual war with your own body or your inner being. You are meant to live in a harmonious conversation with your inner truth. Rest when your soul calls you to, rise when it gently releases you, and trust implicitly that both states are sacred and essential for your journey. Your new beginning is already profoundly unfolding within the quiet depths of your being.